Hi, we're Management 300 Group 4, and today we chose to analyze the company Amazon. In the beginning, Amazon started out as a small online bookstore that grew into the industry giant that we all know today. Along the way, Amazon has picked up some questionable business practices with employees not having proper on-the-job training, regulated safety equipment and measures, and being pushed to fill quotas that are just not humanly possible. These are just some of Amazon problem areas, but our two main issues with Amazon is its unsafe work environment and its toxic company work culture.
When it comes to Amazon warehouse safety, the company has earned themselves a very poor reputation. Over the past several years, many employees have went public with their experience working at Amazon in an attempt to shed some light on Amazon's poor management and lack of regard for employees' safety. This lack of regard has resulted in a high number of reported employees' injuries. An article from CNBC reporter Annie Palmer details how Amazon warehouse workers are injured at higher rates than workers at rival companies. For example, Amazon's 2020 injury rate was 6.5 cases for every 100 employees. In comparison, Walmart, one of its closest retail competitors, reported less than half of that 3 cases for every 100. These high injury rates and lack of action from Amazon has even prompted inspection from OSHA and federal prosecutors. Despite Amazon disputing these unsafe working conditions and claiming they are providing adequate resources for employees, they are still not reaching apparent goal of improving overall employee safety. In order to actually reach this goal of making working conditions safer, we propose that Amazon do 2 things: provide more effective safety training and utilize third-party partners to administer these trainings. While Amazon does actually provide their employees safety training, it is reportedly not useful or effective to employees. Some explain that the trainings provided don't actually match up with their job description nor tackles the actual issues that employees are experiencing. To further make training more effective, Amazon should properly administer it in small chunks on an appropriate timeline. Large training sessions given at the beginning of work can overwhelm employees with information. Breaking trainings into small chunks and reviewing foundational safety material on a consistent basis ensures that employees are getting effective training. Amazon should also consider bringing in third parties to come assess current work condition and safety measures, and then create safety plan, solution, and trainings. By utilizing partners who specialize in safety trainings, Amazon is able to utilize their expertise that they as a retail company don't possess. Additionally, bringing in third-party professional eliminates the effect that any bias or disregard had by Amazon professionals would have on safety training.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about how to put these items into action. So our solutions were to provide better safety training and then to hire third-party partners. So we're going to kind of break that into a more step-by-step process. The first step is to gather information. We're going to specifically be looking at lagging and leading indicators. So what this looks like is, for lagging indicators, what has happened in the past, what things can we find, what statistics can we find where our employees maybe getting injured at, maybe is there a specific area, is there a specific machine, and then also leading indicators. And these are more predictive. So like, we see this is happening here. What else will these injuries or will this lead to. The next thing that we want to do is really prioritize getting feedback from employees. In the last slide, T talked about how, employees find that the safety trainings that they are getting aren't really matching up with the issues they are facing at work. So by really focusing on feedback from employees, we can make sure that we are matching this up. And all of this, using these leading indicators, these feedback from employees, this is really going to enable Amazon to be proactive versus reactive. Obviously, they have to be reactive in some sense, and we have to get better and decrease injuries, but the real solution that we're looking for is eliminating injuries altogether. So next, we're going to bring in third-party partners. So we already talked a little bit about this. And then with those third-party partners, we are going to try and prepare appropriate training schedules. So the idea here is that we are pairing these chunks of info. So maybe like a training session here and a training session here with the proper safety issues or with the related safety issues. So a really good just example is, maybe Amazon Prime Day is coming up and we're going to have a lot of boxes on the floor. And we know this has been an issue in the past. So let's be proactive about it and let's make a training session here and now. And we can talk about, why boxes shouldn't be on the floor, where to put them instead, where the best way to put these in, where are the best place to put these boxes. So that's a really basic solution, or that's a really basic example, but I think it provides good insight. And then we're going to talk about evaluation. So like, would something like this even work? Or are we being proactive? Are we being realistic? And in short, like it will work. So for effective training, Amazon obviously has a really high number of injuries reported. USPS, the United States Postal Service, had a really similar issue. And then once they were able to identify the problem through like employee feedback. So for their problem, one of them was building expertise. Employees didn't know the building. So they were able to find that problem. And then they were able to bring in somebody to create a specialized retention initiative. So this is those specialized training sessions that we talked about. And then they provided them in chunks. They didn't provide them in like a large session with a lot of other information being thrown at employees. They provided a session that was specifically about this one issue. And then after that, USPS saw a steadily declining number of reported injuries year after year. They also so we also have another example about bringing in third parties. There's a company called Denart Construction who had a similar issue to Amazon, where in saying that they had a situation where their employees weren't acting in like a proper safety measure. Instead, they were taking risks, and it was really impacting people's safety. So once they identified this, they nipped it in the bud really fast. They brought in a third party to host this training session. And then the result was that they immediately saw improvement from employees. Employees were doing what they were supposed to, and then safety hazards went down.
Our next topic is the Amazon's toxic work environment. So we've seen issues with employees having problems with heavy work schedules and workloads. Amazon not having enough employees to help smooth things out. We also have our break issues and terrible training options that they give. So how do we fix this? Our first step is just Amazon hiring more employees. That will fix all the work schedules issue, people not working as much as they need to, and having more people just on a job is a lot safer. That'll also help with the heavy workloads. Not having having more people on one job at a time is helping out with that. Also, rotating the stations will help out with the workloads as well. People not sitting in the same place throughout the whole shift. Having people move around will not only help their mental status, but as well help them physically be able to do all the work needed to be done. Improved benefits for all employees will help promote people to get things done, as well as changing of the break schedule. We've seen issues where Amazon offers 2 15-minute breaks. And by the time people get on their break and walk to the break room, their break is already up. So changing that from like 2 15s to a 30-minute break will help the employees have their breaks, as well as improved professional trainings, DEI trainings or sexual assault trainings. Any trainings that need to be done can be improved.
Yeah, so as Ben mentioned, we constantly need training in order to increase the productivity and the environment of our company. So how do we implement this? The first thing is to require DEI training modules for all Amazon employees. This also includes warehouse employees. One thing that we may need to do is change the schedule for the employees to make sure that everyone is able to actively participate in this crucial conversation. And it could also, the company Amazon could allow the employees to do these modules at home. One of the main things in DEI is to avoid bias. By doing this, we can do this by bringing in a third party. Affirmity is one of them. They are a massive company with over 45 years of experience in DEI training. They help many countries, or they help many companies across the country by having training sessions for all employees. And improving DEI will help increase retention and hire rates, which is extremely important to the work environment. For schedules, it would be important for line managers to create rotation schedules in order to decrease fatigue and boredom. Having different schedules works different parts of the mind. That way you're not constantly doing the same thing. This, however, will require constant communication between everybody involved, the employees, the line managers, the top supervisors, to make sure that everyone is getting equal parts in time on different rotations. Another one is to change the policy of picking and packing. One of the big things about Amazon is that they have a certain quota that is required to be met every hour. However, we compare Walmart. Walmart actually goes in terms of the sales and the revenue, and it would be better to increase the morale if we went off of sales rather than the picking and packing policy. So how do we evaluate this? The big thing is surveys. If you want to know how your policies are working, reach out to your employees. This can be sent, online. It can be through mail. Surveys can be done any types of ways. And this could also gauge employee morale and satisfaction with the company. Another big thing is to compare the turnover and retention rates before and after implementing the new policies to see how well they're working.
So as we talked about through our entire presentation, Amazon has some problems in dire need of fixing. Like better safety training needs to be implemented to decrease the rate of injuries in the packing facilities. Hiring third-party partners to train Amazon workers would help Amazon create a safe and unbiased work environment. Amazon also needs to create new technology in order to give their workers the equipment they need to complete their job, like technology like barcode scanners, assembly line equipment, and inventory management via drones or robot technologies would help Amazon's safety issues decrease, along with lowering their expectations of workers, bringing up morale, and making the workplace a more safe and better place to work.